It's Paul Clegg here. What I like to do on this conference call is to share how to connect and turn conversations into business, because what we've discussed over past weeks is that we need to create attention, undivided attention. We need to have some engagement that then ultimately leads to a sale. So it's that connection between those three things that I want to talk about. First of all, I want to tell you a story. I left school at 16 and I was a police cadet. And I ended up in the world of sales, and I ended up and spent nearly 30 years in the world of women, predominantly in the hair and beauty industry. And yet nobody that knows me now will ever guess that I was extremely shy. I went to a boys' school, so I didn't know any girls. I had a sister, but that was it. When I joined the police force, it was predominantly a male environment. And again, I didn't meet many women. So I was very shy around women. And when I eventually discovered that I wanted to meet women, my pal and I used to go to a place in Stockport called Bredbury Hall. It was really the in place. It was a fantastic place, great music, great atmosphere. And we'd all be dressed up to the nines. We'd look pretty smart and fashionable. And literally, we would sit at the bar most evenings that we were there, looking good, turning up. But we never got off with any women. And the moral of that story is that turning up isn't enough. So putting your website up is not enough. Going to a networking event is not enough. Being on social media and turning up is not enough. You have to engage. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about engagement one-to-one. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about engagement at networking events on social media. We have to engage. And what that means is that we have to have conversations, and conversations that are meaningful. And I don't mean conversations that just mean pitching your business. I mean real conversations, because nobody ever goes to a networking event, for instance, to be sold stuff. They actually go to sell stuff. And if everybody's trying to sell something, then there's a disconnect. So some people are able to make that connection very easily. Rod Major's on this particular call, and if you ever to just stand and watch him on Wells Market, it's a masterclass of how he engages with people, because he breaks the ice. He does it, and it's quite natural. It's his background. Other people on the call will do the same, but others will find that difficult. So what I'm going to share with you is a way in which we can make it a lot easier. You see, when I first started out in sales, I just wanted to sell stuff. So I just wanted to tell people what my sales manager had told me. And I was frightened of anybody interrupting me, because they might ask a question I didn't know the answer to. And therefore, my nervousness, my insecurity stopped me from really asking the sort of questions I should ask. Having said that, I did show an interest. And one of the things I always did is I look for something in common. So when we meet people, and when we've met, you'll find I'm probably looking subconsciously for something we might have in common. It might be an accent. It might be something we've done in the past. It's interesting, isn't it, how we warm and we're much closer to people where we've got a mutual common interest. And then, of course, we need to start the conversation up with a question. Now, I was on a podcast the other day, and it's a Bruce Irving podcast that I listened to, and it's all about small business. The guy is very good, and it's about small business pizza restaurants, actually. It's got nothing to do with what I do, but nevertheless, I find that what he talks about it resonates. And he was talking to a guy called John Nemo on a podcast, and I thought I'd like you to listen to what he was saying on this podcast, and then I'll move into exactly the point that I think we want to take.
My number one sales message for LinkedIn. Okay. And this will apply to anyone in any situation. So in that, here's the other thing I want to tell people. All the money on LinkedIn is in the mailbox, man. That's all you have to do is one-on-one messages.
So not in the content that you put out.
Forget it. Waste of time.
Really?
Yes. Waste of time. I know everyone else will say publish articles and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't know about you, Bruce, but I can't deposit likes and shares and views in my bank account.
I've tried. It doesn't work.
Money.
Yeah.
And the only way I get money is talking to people one-on-one, right? And what you can do with LinkedIn and the one-on-one messaging is you can quickly scale and elevate those conversations, right? Now, you can use content on the back end on your site, but the big misconception about LinkedIn is I have to publish 10 status updates a day and upload 1 million videos and publish articles and then hope people read them and hope they comment, hope I see the comment, hope I reply. I would rather just go to the exact decision maker and start talking to them.
Yeah.
And here's how I do that with content of my own. So I go to you, Bruce, I warm you up, we banter, we break the ice. Then I pivot into my sales message. And it says this. It says, the script is, it says, hey, curious, are you interested in blank? So if you're a local catering business, are you interested in providing a memorable experience for your employees at your next company event? The reason I ask is we provide such and such, right? Or we have this free item, or we have this piece of content to help you. If you like, this is the next part, you ask permission. If you like, I'm happy to send over more details, explain more. And then you have a simple call to action. Just reply yes or thumbs up emoji, because remember, they're on their LinkedIn mobile app usually.
Right.
And then you take off the pressure. If not, no worries. So let's walk this through with a baker in Philadelphia. You reach out to the HR director at a big employer in town, break the ice, banter about the Phillies or whatever. And then you say, hey, curious, do you guys do any, kind of employee gatherings and events?
Yeah.
Are you looking for, if you do, are you looking for a way to make it more memorable or unique or customized? The reason I ask is we actually have a great opportunity for you where we actually customize cupcakes with your logo and colors and, do it as a special award. If you like, I'm happy to share more information and photos from how we did it for the guys over across the town. And if not, no worries, just thought I'd mention it. And what you do is you qualify people. They raise their hand. They go, yeah, I am interested. Because you didn't hammer them with, here's our coupon code, call me right now, I'm asking for this. You're asking their permission. Are you even interested in this? Because you want to qualify people. You don't want to waste your time if they're like, no, we have an in-house caterer, we'll never use you.
Right.
Right? Like, okay, fine, I'm moving on. But that's the power of this type of message. And the components are really important. One is you ask a question, curious, are you interested in this? Two is you offer something of value. The reason I ask is, we have this expertise, or we have this free webinar, this free training, if it's, that type of product. Three is you then ask permission. If you'd like, reply yes or thumbs up, so they don't get spammed with your links or, calendar or anything like that. And then part four is you take the pressure off. If not, no worries. Because you want to circle back to them.
Yeah.
A month later, I'm going to come back to you with a new idea.
Right.
And it keeps the messaging open because no one gets upset if you ask a few questions and then say, but no worries if it's not something you're interested in, because they don't feel obligated to reply and they don't feel put upon. And that message will make you so much money.
I mean, that's amazing. Right. That's just that 5 minutes that you explain that right there is going to save some people so much time, because they've been hammered with create content.